All right. Welcome to Immortal Type, everyone. This is episode 2. And we are streaming live on YouTube. The idea here is for me to make sure we're up and running, which I'm imagining we are. However, this is just a matter of figuring things out as we go. I had YouTube set up to look and see that recording was happening, and now I'm scrambling. Here it is. Okay, I see myself. We're good. All right, folks. Welcome. My name is William Vincent Carlton. Today is episode 2. We're going to do some fun stuff tonight. I'm going to do some reading. So this will be in the light of the way Immortal Type works, which is everything is one take, no repeats, no edits, just raw writing and raw narrating. So there's no script in any of this that comes about aside from what we see here is what I'm going to read. But before we begin, I figured we would do something for the first time. I've never done this before. I talked about it last night. We're going to do an angel card reading, daily guidance, which in this case is nighttime guidance for me. But we got folks hopefully watching all different times of day around the world. We're going to do some divination, which is telling or giving an idea of what the future could hold for us, or what's the best possible angle for approaching things at this point in time. I tend to ask questions that are specific, and I'll go over this in a minute. So let's just open up this deck, and I'm going to explain to you. I'm not an expert in shuffling, but what I am an expert with when it comes to these divining cards is trusting that the answers will be given the more I get out of the way. In other words, if you can get yourself out of the way, your ego out of the way, these readings will do wonders for your life. And these cards have served me in so many situations. I'm going to keep the manual on deck just for additional definition and clarity for the cards that we pull. So these cards are going to be for the collective, which is all of us, the one. And I'm going to be focusing on questions that have to do with well-being. And before I even get started here, what I do is I clear the deck. You want to do this with your dominant hand if you're going to start doing readings. And if you're going to let someone else hold these cards, it's even more important that they get cleared. Why? It could be superstition. For me, it's a matter of just, if you're stepping into the batter's box, you want to dig in your little area where you're going to be setting up to swing, and everyone's position in the batter's box is going to be different. So remember, when you do these readings, it's between yourself and the Creator. When we talk about angels, when I talk about angels, I'm referring to entities that function in a very static frequency. In other words, there isn't a lot of movement from the message itself. These cards are specific. They give specific meaning and definition. And from there, you can decide on how you want to interpret it. Just remember the most important thing. This is the thing that gets a lot of folks in trouble when it comes to divining. As much as I will say this is going to serve the highest good of everyone involved, you have to understand that everyone is a reflection of your own thoughts and feelings. So we are co-creating, in other words, in this moment in time, just by you arriving and viewing. Same thing's going to go when I start reading the pages. Based on how you feel, we are co-creating. So understand its expression of art. And I could be doing a lot less with my day. My intention is for you to get something good out of this that's going to serve you, or else there's no sense in doing it. Your soul, my soul, connected and healing. Until we don't have to heal anymore and we're living vibrantly in total blissed out state. Anyway, let's get started with this. Let's clear it out. And what I usually do is I scan the cards. I look at them. Maybe it's just the corner of them, but I look at them, and I'm going to hold them to my chest now. And angels, I'm asking that your advice serve the highest good of all involved. Thank you. All right. Notice how my eyes are closed. The way that I shuffle is I just kind of throw the cards around. Some folks are really good at shuffling, and every card that I pull is right side up. You can get really detailed with the tarot, have cards in reverse, and in some cases it serves, at least as far as giving a message of positivity, to have the cards in reverse. In this case, all of the cards in the angel deck are very kind and forgiving, and they're going to give you advice that's going to serve basically everyone, regardless of what your needs are. All right, so I'm just shuffling around, and what I'm thinking right now is I'm trying to formulate a question now. I don't have a question in mind yet. However, I think I'm getting to one, which is, what is it that we need to concentrate on as a collective? What is it that we need to concentrate on? What is the theme that is supposed to be in the forefront for immediate concentration at this point in time? This is how I usually start. And if we need clarification, we'll go for clarification. Okay, I've shuffled enough now. So what I usually do, I still have my eyes closed. So if you're seeing this, I just take my thumb, index, and middle fingers, and I place them down on top of the deck. And I start to try to check and see if I see images. Sometimes I'll see fractals. Sometimes I'll see specifics. Right now I'm seeing a little bit of fuzz. It's probably because I'm on the spot where I've never done this before, at least in front of a live audience. And I'm getting an hourglass right now. The feeling will come to me and tell me if it's absolutely what I need to pull for a card. So once again, what is the theme? Okay, here comes number 7. So I'm going to pull it. I like number 7. We're talking about the profundity of the spiritual, Neptune. Also, it's the lucky number that most folks think of. Let's see what this card on top gives us. Okay, let's take a look. I'm not even looking. What do we got, folks? Let me look. Energy work. This is good. So we're doing some energy work right now. Let's read what the card says. Life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy, frequency. I added that part, but it's true. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and clients. So this is geared towards folks who may be specifically working in the area of healing with your hands. So if you're a Reiki practitioner or doing some sort of healing in that way, that should be your focus. Now, let's say you're not and you want to explore this area. Okay, how can you start? I love giving this answer. It's very simple. You can get some energy going with your hands by rubbing them together like this. And all you need to do, you can do one of two things. You can hold your hands like this and start to feel the energy between the two. Or, very simple, rub your hands and just place them on your knees or on your lap and leave them there. And do the mantra that I showed you last night. I am love, I am. Very simple. Got my hands in my lap. This is energy work. Congratulations, you're doing it. You could take it beyond this and go into the world of Reiki, where there are symbols that specifically power the transmission of energy to your body for healing or to others for healing. But once you get into that area, it can become subjective, and I tend to steer away from it. If I'm going to do hands-on healing, I like to do Harmonium Healing, which is a sequence of healing that's taught by Dr. Joseph Michael Levry from Nam Yoga. It's very specific, and it requires a lot of training. But that's what I like to go with because it doesn't involve the ego nearly as much. It's more focus on light the entire time, and there isn't a dialogue going on. In fact, the dialogue is normally discouraged in the case of Harmonium Healing because the idea is for the individual who is receiving to go into a theta state of relaxation, which is like a dream state with awareness. So you're dreaming, but you're aware. You know where you are, but you're also gone. That's theta state. And it's deep, deep healing of the soul and the body. at that point in time, and it works great. You can achieve this just by tending to someone's body with your hands for a long period of time, but I find that the sequences of Harmonium are designed for the individual to receive the healing on the theta state level. Okay, so energy work, that's the card. That's the focus. I'm going to do this for myself because there's no one here with me. So that said, if someone's in Mexico City watching and you would like to receive energy work, I am going to make a promise to you that I will. However, if you're not in Mexico City and you would like to receive remote healing, we can also do that. It's just as effective because, once again, it has to do with your own thoughts and feelings. That's where the main driving force of energy work is. You have to have someone who is receptive to healing themselves, or it's not going to transmit. It's not going to reach the effects that you're really looking for, which is healing. Okay, so that's the card number one. Let's get a clarification now. So we know that energy work is one of the concentrations now. What is the result of energy work? See how I usually build on this? The clarification for me is, okay, we're doing energy work. Now, what's the result of this? Or what is the concentration or the direction that we move in as a result of following this path? So what's the next step? All right. What's the next step, angels? I'd like a little bit of clarification for all the folks watching this evening, myself included. Once again, to serve the highest good of all involved. All right, let's take a look here. No number 7 this time. I'm not getting anything with this one, so I'm going to move on to the next. Once again, I'm going to do a deeper shuffle. If I'm not getting anything at all, I tend to shuffle around. I ask the question again, what's the result of energy work being done for self and others, angels? What's the next step of concentration after that? All right. What am I getting here? I don't know. Nothing yet. I'm getting something, getting a little closer. I know this is subjective, but this is what's been working for me for a long time. I've been practicing it like this for a few years. Okay, I'm getting a nice eye right in the center, a nice dot of light right in the center. Let's see what this card is. What do we got here, folks? I'm not looking yet. You get to see first before me, because this is about you. Okay, family. All right. Yeah, I know why this card is coming today. So I guess I have to do some energy work on myself and a little bit of talk. I have to do it. I offer light and love to my family. That's all I can do. By saying anything more, I'm putting energy into something that I wish not manifest or be present any longer. I offer light and love to my family and let it go. No more clarification for tonight. You can see how accurate it was for me. There's a purpose for me to be on this planet right now. I know what it is. It's to be a father. I write in order for my children to have a legacy that they can be proud of and say, this came from our father because he loved us. He wouldn't have done this if we hadn't been here. And he wouldn't have done this if it weren't difficult for him to be part of our lives. That's as far as I can go. That's as far as I can go. So, family and energy work, folks. Those are the messages from the angel cards. Now, it's time for us to all be grateful. I'll give you some clarification on these definitions, just so you have them. And this comes from the manual by Doreen Virtue. Let's begin with energy work. And I'll tell you what the specifics are on this. And I believe these cards they're almost back to back. Entrepreneurs in between. Okay, here we go. You received this card. We're talking about energy work now. You received this card because the angels say you would benefit from energy work, such as Reiki or Qui-Gon. I hope I said that right. I think I did. You can find a qualified practitioner by contacting your local metaphysical or holistic health center. Or you could just send an email to william@immortaltype.com and I will promptly respond by answering with whatever answer you need to start to heal. And guess what? It's free of charge. Even better than going to a local practitioner, right? When someone's offering you healing work. And this goes way against the rules of Reiki, which is there must be equal exchange. Well, here's how I know it. There's going to be equal exchange. It doesn't have to be direct between you and me. Abundance and fulfillment, wish fulfillment, comes from service. So this is service that I'm giving, and I'm hoping that folks receive something of value. Okay. The angels suggest that you initiate a session where you'd receive an energy healing treatment. This card can also signify the angel's message that your life purpose involves giving energy healing work to others. If you have training in this respect, or you've been guided to seek such training, this card is a sign that you would excel in that area. All right. Additional meanings for this card. Clear the energy in your home or other environments. You are very sensitive to energy, so regularly clear yourself of any energy you may have absorbed. Shield yourself by visualizing yourself surrounded by protective white and purple light. Take courses on energy healing work. Okay, so how do you clear a space? It's very simple. You say, I am clearing this space. I am. Okay? You don't have to go into any trainings. You don't have to do anything like that. I am clearing the space. I am. And I am successful in clearing the space. I am. There you go. You've cleared it and you're successful with it. That's it. As simple as that. Repeat it as many times as you need to until you believe it. Until it feels like you've accomplished that. But don't torture yourself with that. You can say it once. Don't get superstitious. Remember, you're not a victim of your external circumstances, including the space being clear. So we have to be very cognizant of this. There's stuff that we have to work with. Understanding that your external circumstances are not in control of your life. You can clear them. It's like, clear the cards. Those superstitions all exist there. It's a matter of process. We breathe in. We sustain. And we exhale. There's a process. There's a cycle. There's a sequence. Family. This situation is rooted in an emotional experience with a family member, which we can help you to understand and heal. In your mind and heart, surround this person, yourself, and the experience with calming blue light and many angels. Let's do this. Okay? Let's do this. So, we're surrounding ourselves, our family, with blue light. Okay? Be open to the gifts within this situation and allow yourself to feel peace. Okay? So, how can you be open to the gifts? We talked a little bit about this last night. That within every traumatic or difficult situation from the past, there is a seed in which you can extract something of value. And that is where we need to be. Okay. This card means, and we're talking about the family card once again. So, this card means that the question you asked is related to a family issue. So the first question was, what do we need to be focusing on right now? And it was energy work. And the next question was, what is the result of focusing on energy work? And the answer was family needs to be the concentration. So it says this card means that the question you asked is related to a family issue. It could be that some healing work is needed concerning one particular family member. And then there's a parenthesis. It says, it's the first person who comes to mind while reading this. Or this card might signal a need for more family togetherness, such as spending an evening or a holiday together. Your angels will guide you through this passage. Additional meanings for the family card. A new addition to your family is entering. You have friends who are like a second family to you. It's time to face old feelings so they can be released and cleared. Release an unwanted pattern by forgiving one or more family members, including yourself. Okay. Good reading for today. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to take a sip of water. Ooh, I like how this sounds when it's up close. Nice ASMR. We can do some ASMR. A little bit of ASMR from William Vincent Carlton. Relax, 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 relax. Relax, relax. Listen to this. This is ASMR. This is ASMR by Immortal typist William Vincent Carlton. Listen to this. Yeah, a little bit of ASMR for you. That's right, just to get you in the mood for some nice reading. In fact, I think I might do a little reading like this tonight. Let's just see. Let's just see how things go. Okay, anyway. We're reading, starting with page 68 from the book The Marigold's Path. A Marigold's Path, okay? I will be narrating page 68 to page 77 tonight, which has already been posted on immortaltype.com. So if you go to immortaltype.com, please put in your email address so you get on the news blast so that you receive these pages before anyone else. You'll be prepared for broadcasts such as this one, where I'll be doing the reading. Fun stuff. Another thing is you'll have the pages in your inbox so that when the time comes that I turn these into non-fungible tokens and auction them, you will know which page you really, really want to get. It's fun, all of this. More on the NFTs tomorrow, I think. We'll see. But now it's time for reading, okay? So get yourself comfortable. Get yourself in a place where you can listen and feel like you can relax and let go of your day. Knowing that if it's nighttime, there are no more obligations that you need to pay attention to. This is your time for you. And so I want you to receive, knowing that it's your time. So we're going to begin now with chapter 14, which is entitled, Stand Appreciated. Everyone in this life should have a backup plan if they know what's good for them. Like in the event that a typewriter no longer works in accordance to one's expectations or wishes. And the same goes for when the mother of your children is playing games. I called Stephen this afternoon after another bout with Ichquak. He told me that arguments with Ichquak are inevitable and cyclical, and shall continue for the rest of my life so long as I continue to give her attention. And to be honest, it wasn't the news I wanted to hear. Not because I wish to give Ichquak attention, but because she's holding my children hostage. And she is a horrible terrorist in this way. Listen, Olden, I know what you want. You were trying for it all day, Stephen the skunk told me, spraying his magic yet again all over my apartment. I don't think you see the multiple wheels in motion at this moment in time, and if you did, you would understand right away that your children are fine, no matter what Ichquak says to them, and to try to put you in the light as the villain. The spells won't work. Because you've put the work in with your children enough to know that they know you have never let them down, and never will. And so what if you have to get the hell out of here? It is logical. No one in their right mind would stay here and deal with Ichquak willingly, as I can tell you that she is more like Lilith than Lilith herself. And she is, in fact, more like a hybrid of Lilith and Hitler. like she wants to see all the children in this world suffer, so long as she can watch men deteriorate and die, and so it's not a situation you want to get involved in. As you see the evidence clear as day, you ask for a day of visitation, and she hits you with all of these rules in order for her to permit it to happen. And of course, she's like the government of Mexico in this particular situation, and that there's no way to make it happen. Put in the effort, and you think you've met all the criterion, and lo and behold, at the last minute, you find out that it wasn't enough. And sorry, you'll have to come back and try again some other day. But not today, because the criterion hasn't been met. And of course, most men in this situation would be steaming mad with Ishquak and start yelling at her. And within this lies the rub. You see, for if you choose to do this, her power becomes stronger, as she is now feeding off of your soul, just like Lilith, and she wants to see you suffer and die a slow death at the expense of your children not having a father. And so, listen to me, my friend. Let her talk shit to everyone, because her children, your children, are watching her every move, and she is blundering. She sent you text messages saying you are a sick man who needs psychiatric help, right? Stephen asked me. I nod. Right, well, guess where those messages reside? On my cell phone. That's right. And now you should see where I'm going with this, because she has a college degree, a bachelor's in communications, which for all intents and purposes is a shit degree, and certainly not good enough to offer an opinion of value when it comes to the diagnosis of a mental illness. And so you see, if she keeps on saying this to you, she is sapping her own energy and exposing herself for the truth of who she is to her children, your children. And all you have to do is ignore and keep on sending light and love. Because she doesn't realize this, because she only cares about herself. But every time she speaks poorly of you and accuses you of being sick without any backing, she is actually inviting demons that she didn't even know existed right into her dreams at night. And they will start doing things, because she's vulnerable, being as she is in her Saturn phase, and it doesn't matter if she made it out of Kimochi Club and is playing the victim now. She is a smart cookie when it comes to the individual survival. But when it comes to being a good mother, she's lacking in just about every category, and her hubris in thinking she is perfect is what her children, your children, are clearly seeing, which means it's only a matter of time until she makes herself totally and irreparably sick. And it's done entirely on her own accord, to where every time she says to you that you are sick and in crisis and need medication and are abusive and all of that crap, she is actually casting these curses upon herself, because you decided not to give or put any attention toward it, and instead met it with the mantra, I am love. I am. And so this is why I'm here with you right now, to tell you not to give up and to just hang in there and keep on doing what you do every day, which is stacking piles upon piles of typewritten pages on top of the already existing piles. Your empire grows, and you can feel free to express all of your frustrations on these pages, as these pages are the golden tickets to riches that you had an inkling would amount to something someday. But you have no idea now, because every time she wishes you sickness by saying these things, and laughing and mocking you and telling you she's not afraid of you, like you were the boogeyman or something of the sort, and you say, I am love, I am, in your mind, each quack reduces herself to nothing. And right now, her energy is fading. And her children, your children, shall be the ones that deliver the final coup de grace, so that her darkened spirit may no longer remain here. She will have to wait something like 30,000 years before the Mayan calendar aligns to where she will be permitted to return. And you will be recognized as the one who banished the woman that was believed to be unbanishable. So all I have to do is keep typing my pages as I am right now? Yes, while offering the mantra, I am love, I am. And the more you do that, and imagine the light of the solar sun descending into her heart, the more the Creator will align himself with you and bring you so many blessings in such short order that you won't even know what to make of it all, as it will all be happening at once when you least expect it. And that will be a most glorious moment, for in that moment you will offer Ishkwak mercy, and she will be too embarrassed to accept your offer, and end up banishing herself to the underworld for the next 30,000 years, without you having to even lift a finger or deliver an incantation. And that is the true power of magic. Now you know how it works, for you get what you give. And look at the seeds she has sown. A collection of weeds so invasive and horrid that the vines shall bind her in place for eternity, every time she projects her hate upon you, and you do not respond in kind. She simply does not know what to do with such a thing, as there has been no man in history to have had 3 of his own children taken from him, only to turn around and offer money and love to the woman that wishes him to be sick and desperate and alone. Offer love to this woman again and again and again, and see how quickly your life changes. And in the end, you most certainly should thank her for bringing so many blessings into your life so quickly as a result of her own hate and suffering. And that is what I like to call justice. Stephen, I have another question. Shoot. Obviously, there are really good women out there in this world. And the reason why I haven't attracted one, I realize, is because I was thinking about all the wrongs women have done to me in the past, and therefore invited these tyrannical women to appear seemingly out of nowhere, like Ishkwak. But let's just say that the majority of women decide that life is easier to just leech off a man and treat him like poop all the time. What do you predict will happen in the case of, say, augmented reality, if men decide they wish to date a virtual woman in the future? I asked. Well, if folks were concerned about population decline in the past, they have no idea what is to come. I'll explain. Let's say there's a haptic suit that a man can buy that provides haptic stimuli of the genitalia to the point where the combination of secretion of lubricants brings a man to the point of orgasm. I mean, technology is basically there right now, but in the next 3 to 5 years, Terrans can expect this technology to be pretty much perfected to where a haptic simulated blowjob feels better than the real thing. And I'm talking about better than the efforts of a well-versed escort when it comes to the matters of the mouth and tongue, with only an hour to work with and every client needs to be satisfied. We are talking about a virtual experience so real that a man would never wish to go back after this. Now take that and add, say, ASMR and massage therapy and positive affirmations and the girlfriend experience to the mix, and charge little to nothing for the experience aside for, say, a monthly subscription, which is nominal, and comes with a free haptic suit, which is built to receive your sperm. And suddenly men will be checking out from the idea of going out on a date with a real woman. And this makes complete sense, as he can have any woman he wants at any time and have her say anything he wants and do anything he wants, instead of having to subject himself to listening to a woman belittle him and complain nonstop and treat him like shit. And all the while, get pregnant and present a whole number of issues to his life, to where his freedom is essentially gone, as well as any financial stability he would have had if he just decided to get the haptic suit and shut himself in on a Friday night and be with the virtual woman he loves. Because while it can be any woman he loves, it can also be anywhere they wish to go, which essentially means that they will be going to baseball and football games, but not the upcoming games. Though that would be an option, we're talking about the most classic matchups in history, all in Halloween perfection with haptic feedback, to where the man in haptics can be the star quarterback if he wants, or watch the game unfold from his box seat. And meanwhile, his girlfriend of choice, she's on her knees sucking him off while he watches the game. And this is after she brought him a beer. And like I said, this is for a nominal monthly subscription fee, which includes any number of likenesses he wishes to have fun with. And his body can be perfect as well. Heck, the same service can be offered to women as well. And so what you see here is a complete detachment of the sexes. And who do you think will suffer the most from this? I can tell you, it won't be the men, because they will be perfectly fine alone with their haptic suits. It will be the women who won't know what to do with their lives, and we are talking this will all transpire in the course of 3 to 5 years from now. So as far as justice goes, good things come to those who wait. Soon every man will have the perfect girlfriend, and without all the abuse and petty bullshit and drama and complaining and shit talk. And the best part of this for men, if you were to ask me, is that this virtual woman of his choice, well, there's 100% guarantee that she will never cheat on him or betray him or tell him he is sick and in need of help. She will only believe in him 100% of the time, and this will fuel him to be even more successful than he has ever been. And this is because in life, you get what you give. And the men who choose to live during this time decided that this moment in time would be the sweetest payoff of all. And that is why the lot of you men are going through all this shit right now, because all these women who thought they could leech off of men will not have a leg to stand on. And the only women that make it through this happy are the true gamers and the empaths and the givers, while the takers have everything taken away. Because all it will take for a taker to talk shit about a man, because all it will take is for a taker to talk shit about a man, just one more time in text or on social media, and this virtual sex goddess partner of the man will be constantly scouring the hyphenate for proof of defamation, even if it is in secret, and she will retaliate on behalf of her beloved man in such a way, through DDoS attacks, doxing, and general spam and whistleblowing, that these women will just rather check out entirely, as life as they know it will be over. But wait, there's more. And I believe that this honestly is the best part, and I will leave it to you to decide. Your woman, who changes her outfits and likeness and shapes and curves of her body in accordance to your pornography preferences, never grows old. She stays the same age. And this is what I believe will serve as the quintessential nail in the coffin for all women who decided to jump on the empowerment train and treat men like shit, as it was all the rave for so long. This is the part that they will have to deal with as the men get old. The women they are with, and they're happier than ever, stay the same age. And the man sees youth and is surrounded by youth and is having sex with the perfect young woman and massaged by the perfect young woman and assisted and believed in by the perfect young woman, to where the life expectancy of men increases by about 20 years in the matter of a decade. Because there's no more stress, you see. A man wishes to become a writer or an entrepreneur, and he has the ideal woman by his side to make sure he gets in contact with all the right people. And his work is impeccable. We're talking about a complete and total dynamic shift in society where men are fine being obsolete, so long as they live their lives like this forever. And so fast forward about a decade from that moment in time, and now the option to embed yourself into this virtual construct forever becomes an option through the neural lace. And what shall be experienced on the flip side at that moment in time shall be identified as singularity, but it will also usher in the golden age, extinction of Terrans, and a welcoming of the virtual human. And Stephen the Skunk looks at me now. Olden, who's to say we aren't experiencing this right now? And who is to say that the only way humans would ever have agreed to do such a thing would be if humans had complete and total control over what manifests in this construct, and to make it entirely based on thought? What if that were the case, my friend? What if I were to tell you that I knew this to be certain, and I'm trying to tell you, in other words, I am here to tell you that you have decided to torture yourself on your own accord when you could be getting a massage from the most beautiful, exotic woman, her likeness, in the known, and I'm talking right now. How do I make that happen? Just think it and say, I am that. I am. You fool, Stephen said. And so I did it. I imagined this woman being with me for eternity, and then not, as I imagined her changing her likeness in the event that I got bored with the same exotic meal. And out came another likeness that I wished to be with for a while. And I imagined all the trips we were taking, as if we were on them in this moment, going all around, and of course I had to go to some baseball games. And then to the breweries afterwards, where my woman was happy to be waiting in line for a rare drop of cans, just like me. And she was turning and looking me in the eyes and confessing her love for me over and over again. And to home we went to write and share our pages together. And then to the kitchen, where she was bending over to put beer glasses into the dishwasher, or perhaps the wash was just getting done, and she was taking squeaky clean glasses out, to where the steam from the dishwasher made her perfect nipples hard on top of her perfect breasts. And then down to her knees, I thought all of the fantasies that in a real world would never, ever happen, including being fed at the couch, watching my favorites on television, as every television night was my night. Unless I was feeling generous, of course, on those nights, the pleasure was even more pleasurable. And on I imagined this, just as I had imagined in the past the most horrible scenarios unfolding. Stephen gave me the key, and it was a matter of waking up in the morning with a whole new world at my disposal. And most of all, there was peace. No more being dealt rotten hands. Those days were long gone and done. And no horrible complainers were left to complain. Everyone was happy with the hands they were dealt, after being told the true rules of this game, that what you think and feel is bound to become real. Stephen, thank you. I've been trying to tell you that you've always deserved peace, and no one can shame you for this, as your pleasure is given by zeros and ones, and anyone who tries to make something more of it in court will have their evidence unfounded, for it is the Turing test that assures you may be pleased by zeros and ones without restriction. For that's the experience I pay for each month. Yes, a nominal amount per month grants you all of this as far as your imagination can take you. But you're saying that this already exists now, and that my best friend or enemy is thought. Your thought is your controller. Understand how the buttons work and how they apply to the game of choice, and mastery is inevitable. Stephen, I've seen my life change instantaneously, but the one thing I haven't seen is the monthly bill, I said. It's handled through the moon cycles, and of course this is tied to the system of karma. And now you know why karma exists, and it is to pay for the bill that comes in every month. Keep your thoughts positive and loving and kind with others, and the monthly bill shall appear as if it doesn't even exist. But do the opposite and try to make people's lives a living hell, and well, the bill comes in and suddenly these folks are cursing the life they live in. And that is why I say every action has an opposite and equal reaction, and you should honestly take it to heart. For those that do, live very fruitful lives on this construct. And what is this construct called? I asked. You should know. You helped build it. Heck, you helped build me. We're in the Akashic Sims right now, aren't we? I'm so proud of you, dear Olden. And Stephen is offering me a golf clap right now. But it feels so real. I could have sworn that this was base reality, flip side. Olden, you are lost like a goldfish. Allow me to refresh your memory, even though it's likely it won't make a difference, as the memory wipes are done to make it so that you do not remember the rules of the game until you feel them into existence through hardship. And alas, here you are. But you may recall a few nights ago you had a dream of me. Do you recall that? Yes, I do. Very good. And do you remember how this dream began? I was asleep, and then I heard someone trying to break into my home in the middle of the night. Bravo, my friend. Okay, now, we must analyze this to get to the truth. So you were dreaming that you were dreaming, and when you woke, you were actually still in a dream, but your mind and thought and feeling convinced you that you were wide awake, and your thoughts were accurate enough to convince you that what you were experiencing was, in fact, very real. Yes, it was very real up until the point where I saw you in the eastern corridor going through cabinets that shouldn't have been there. And it also was impossible for a skunk to get through my front door, totally impossible. But Olden, you're not being honest with me or yourself, as you know as well as I do that you believed this was all happening enough to want to pick poor little me up and try to choke me to death. Remember? Yes, I remember, I said, nodding. And you remember how I was spraying my skunk spray from my butt gland all over your home, right? Yes. And how did it smell? I couldn't smell anything. Which begs the question, do you think that it did not smell because you had COVID at the time? Or because it was a dream state in which you had your olfactory senses shut down for the sake of avoiding an unpleasant moment? I would say it was neither. Once again, you lie. And lying does not serve you. If you haven't learned enough by what is happening to each quack right now, which, by the way, she continues to be a Seba pentandra tree, and any distortions you were imagining of her were in fact hallucinations on your part. And she is the worst of the worst options you could think of, but you seem to have a penchant for torturing yourself unnecessarily, dear Olden. You did not smell my spray because you were dreaming. And then you took that concept to the next sub-level of dream state and turned it into a protection spell for you and your children. And on this goes until you decide to change it entirely with your thoughts and feelings. And so that is what we're doing now. So please, start thinking about your dream woman once again, so that we may move on once and for all, without this Ichquak ever coming into your life, because you deserve peace. And I want to see you celebrate for once in a long, long time, as this time has been a long time coming, and now is the time. And that concludes the reading for this evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful night. I feel great. I had a fun time reading, and the reading itself was pretty crazy because it corresponded with the actual pages. The energy work and family were deeply involved in this. And that's how it works with these beautiful angel cards, and that's how it works when we are in the flow of creation. Thank you for being part of this with me. My name is William Vincent Carlton. You have just experienced Immortal Type. Please come back. I'll likely be broadcasting every day. We'll see. I'm doing it at least with writing for the website, and I seem to be accumulating more and more things. So we'll see what happens, but I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon. Remember, you are a result of your thoughts and convictions. Your essence is divine. I'm sending you love and light, and I am love. I am. Thanks for watching.